Yes, good morning, students. I'm happy to welcome you for this today's class, where we want to talk about transportation engineering 2. So the first topic is runway and road constructions. So in runway, we only have to define various terms, and the terms that we are required to define include the following: the run length, and say the runway length. We are required to talk about the taxiway, the approx or the apron. Then again, we are required to talk about the stopway, and say the stopway is a rectangular area at the end of the runway in the directions of the takeoff, or selected or repaired as a suitable area in which the plane can stop. Then another, we have the aerodrome, as a term say, is just a defined area of land on an airport, on which it can include any buildings and some retaining materials, where in any case the plane is coming, it can be able to land safely. Then in the road constructions, we are supposed to talk about setting out of the site construction site. When you are setting out a construction site, in most circumstances, this is the first thing that you are required. In any case, you become a contractor and you are told to do what is called setting out of a construction site. Since we are talking about the transportation, we immediately measure the road. So the first task that you have to involve is what is called setting out of the center line, setting out road alignment, setting out road alignment. In most circumstances, you find that before the road is constructed, you see some surveyors going around the road, and there are some heads that immediately drill along the center of the road. So this one will tell them, will help them on determining the width of the roads, so they should know that in which carriageway, what is the length of one carriageway. After determining that this is the center line, you also know at what length are you supposed to be stepping off for us to get enough carriageway. We talk about the carriageway, then you have the shoulder. This is the road shoulder, then this is called the carriageway, where the vehicles can use. So after determining the center line or the road alignment, this will help them to know how much excavation they should be doing. Then the second one is to do the survey or the survey works. The survey now, they can do about the leveling, how deep are they supposed to be. Under the survey work, we have leveling. Leveling can have the cut. There are some places on the road that will need cutting, and some places of the road that will need fillings. When you talk about cuts, it means they are above the gradients, so they have to be reduced. But when you talk about the filling, then again here, they simply have to either borrow materials from somewhere or use the materials that they have cut from this place and refill it until it reaches the levels. So we have methods of filling. We can talk about methods of leveling. We can talk about methods of leveling. We can have cut method. We can have the fill method, and simply we have the cut and fill method. Cut and fill method. Cut method is simply only used where the gradient is above the ground, and the fill is used when the ground is below. But cut and fill, it means we are having two different places where the one side is higher and one side is low. We simply have to cut this and we fill at this point. So we say cut and fill. We cut and we fill in the other part. The last procedure when we are setting out our construction site, we have to do what is called, when we are starting a new road, we have to do several checks. And the checks that you are supposed to require, in any case you are given a contract on the construction of the new roads, and this majorly happens on when you are constructing the county roads or the weather road, sometimes called the county roads or county roads. stroke weather roads. The majorly roads constructed from the mud or just gravelly. So these are the checks that you have to consider as an engineer. You have to locate the roads alongside, or locate the roads outside the river crossing. So if this is the river, you know there's a river flowing at this point, then you are not supposed to be constructing this your road when to overcross the river, since it will have to cost you for you to build some bridge at that river. Then again, we are advised to always use the existing roads. In any place, there is an existing road. When we talk about existing roads, we can be either the footpath that was used before. Maybe we wanted to construct a road at this point A to point B, but this road was supposed to go direct. But now because there's some, maybe there's a rocky point, there's some rocky in between, we can be told, but now people are using that long route before. It's better to construct our road along this route than construct when under the rocky or the river. Another thing, we are supposed to avoid heavy bush clearing and heavy leveling. Then we are supposed to avoid heavy drainage areas. Then another top thing that we are supposed to talk about is setting out of cross sections. When setting out the cross sections, we say we have to they include the center line of the road, or leveling of the road, or limit of excavation, and foot embankment. Then can have setting out of road camber and carriageway. What do you mean by the camber and the carriageway? I said this is called the road, this is the road, this is the carriageway, and the camber. If you look at most of the roads, from the center line, if this is the center line, you'll find that the road is trapezoidal. Going towards the shoulder is somehow sloping, but at the center is up. So this one is saying the road camber. This will help this road to drain off water to have the drainage. So there's no water that will be interlocking along the center. Also, in any case, there's a road, there's a rainfall, then the water, or it's called the surface water, can easily be taken towards the drain. More we'll have discussed tomorrow on our Zoom class. Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you.